That's exciting. That's okay. Hello. Aww. We can stop this now, I guess. Spoilers. Very sorry. Hello. Hey everyone. This is me. Hi. I do not normally stream, so I'm just gonna spin and like keep my this is the heck of a background. No, this is my living room. Um, these are my party balloons. This is my yarn. Um, yeah, look at the background. The background is super pretty. Oh, I have chat. Why do I have chat? Cool. I don't even know what I'm doing, but that's okay. I'm glad you're here. This is my background. It says party. These are party balloons that my friends my friends snuck into my place when I was away for a week and they were feeding my fish. Um, this was in, I want to say, July 2019 because I didn't go anywhere in 2020 or after that. So I think it was July 2019, unless it was July 20, probably 2019. I remember things. It's great, very helpful. So they snuck into my room and they hung up the party balloons and also yeah, these balloons. Fantastic. Mylar would recommend. This is not a sponsored post or anything, but Mylar balloons, incredible. So they snuck into my place and they filled the place with I think 200 or 300 helium balloons and my ceiling was covered in balloons. And when I got home, they were like hiding and the lights were off, but there were these balloons that were illuminated. Um, did you know that there are balloons with little lights inside them with yellow faces? I'll maybe try and find a photo to share later. It was very surprising because I was just really tired from driving home. And then I had like three people in my house. And the ceiling was covered with balloons, which was very exciting the next day when I woke up and the floor was covered with balloons. Anyway, yes, this is my real backdrop. This is the spinning wheel. Hello. I'm here to mostly talk about the MIT Mystery Hunt 2022, but also to talk about anything else that you know strikes my fancy. Um, please, please ask questions because I don't know what to talk about if you don't ask questions. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm a barker in real life because I'm an engineer. I studied mechatronics and now I run trains. And and Barker is the Minister of Engineering, so I think that's fine. What kind of yarn am I spinning? This is this is called Magic Bunny. It is Merino, Angora, Cashmere, and Rainbow Glitz. This is the ball of it, but I have two of them. Hello, crafting stream with Renee. Um, so it's this. Uh, and this was released. I think it's called Girl Power because it was in celebration. I think of Kamala Harris. But honestly, it's lovely purples, and I like purples. And it's really, yeah, it matches the stream background, and I'm all about matching things. Um, oh, and here's my dragon, which some of you may have seen. It's a dragon. I'll put it here, maybe. I don't know. Um, I have no stuff placed well, so this is what we get. Um, Yeah, what was I talking about? Don't know what I was talking about. Oh, I was introducing myself. Yeah, I started doing puzzles, I guess, about 5 years ago or so when yay, crafting stream. We get a crafting stream today. Um, when I started playing Ingress again because um, because why? What is this? What is this Autobot thing? How do I turn off bots? Because Justin is not saying anything terrible at all, and Justin, how do I make you a mod? Is that a thing I can do? Where do I do things? How? Someone help. Why? Woo! I have a new follower. It pops up. Very exciting. Hello, I'm Renee. I'm new to streaming. I think click on my name. Failed to load module. That's cool. Thanks, Twitch. Um, how does one make perfect pancakes? I don't know. Um, ooh, 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 ooh. I can. Why? Oh, everyone is following. That's very exciting. Um, what is? Oh, mod. I found the mod button, you guys. Very exciting. So now, Justin, you can unmod yourself, which is, I think, the most important thing that you need to be able to do. Um, yeah, yeah, thanks. Cool. Okay, so Justin can now play with everything, and I've got sounds popping up for you. Um, because I have no idea. I love this follow sound. I don't know what's happening. That's fine. Hello. Um, cool. Just a little second. Oh, okay. See, I can hear it, but I also don't know how much of what I can hear definitely goes through to what you can hear. So, we'll just all learn together. Um, puzzles. Why am I being told the chat rules? I know the chat rules. I know the chat rules. This is fine. Everything is fine. I know what I'm doing. Uh, who thought that I would need to do something with my hands because otherwise I would fidget? It's cool. It's fine. Um, Started puzzles about 5 years ago. Um, Back to this story. I'm very good at getting back to stories. I've had practice getting distracted. When I started back playing Ingress because I stopped playing Ingress because I didn't really want to interact with people. Um, and then and then someone this is not method commitment. This is just me, Debbie. Um, and then anyway, I got back into playing Ingress and I met Ivy, who some of you may have met as Minister Barker. Our swords. I don't know what our swords means. What does our swords mean? Oh, mud swords. You have mud swords. Yes, I am keeping up. Um, yeah, that's because I trust you to not stab people who don't deserve to be stabbed. Please keep me safe. Wait, you guys meet people? In Ingress? Yeah, that's like having to meet people is why I stopped playing Ingress the first time because I didn't want to meet people. And then someone super enthusiastic got me back into Ingress. And then I met people because at this point I'd already met people. Like, because I started playing back when it was like, I think just the tail end of the first year or the very start of the second year. And there were not very many people, and like community of Ingress was not so much a thing yet. Um, I I keep getting distracted. I'm very sorry. I hope that this is what you expected because this is what is happening. Um, Ivy, have I tried to do monkey with my mod swords? Oh, now you need to. Oh yeah, that's for James and Justin. They can manage that. That's cool. And then I can pretend that I'm not distracted by it. It's cool, right? Um, Ivy invited us, a couple of us, James and I specifically, to solve puzzles with them, and so that was probably back in I want to say 2017. Um, the first time I found out about the MIT Mystery Hunt, and we solved as like a tiny little group of Aussies who who felt really gated by the lack of being able to go to interactions, unfortunately. And then in um, phew, I mean, I also got Barker, so I'm gonna take that as a compliment that I am like Jen because Jen is amazing. So yay, we can be Barker together while I simultaneously manifest Hayden in my barkering, I guess. Um, yeah, I started um, mystery hunts in 2017, and then I met Marie, lovely Marie, in Mental Playground. You finished. Congratulations to everyone who was solving your puzzle. It was a very cool cryptic puzzle. Everyone should check it out. How's it been going? I've been very distracted, which I think is just like standard, so it's fine. Um, we're talking about how I started with mystery hunts. This is probably going to be the thing where I just keep on retelling the same story. But that's okay, probably. I need to figure out how to monetize this. It's all good. Hey, Liari, how are you? Uh, your puzzle was very cool. What am I talking about? Mystery hunt. I started solving with Marie and the lovely people who had split off from Palindrome and management um, in 2019 and 2020 and 2021. So at the end of the 2021 hunt, when Palindrome won, they very generously extended the offer uh, to anyone in Ant Management. Hey Ben, how are you? To come over and like write with them. And when that invitation first came out, I was like, well, I don't think I want to do this. I don't know if I want to be involved in writing a hunt that like, you know, was firstly very overwhelming in 2021, but also I'd never written any puzzles before. And I I don't think of myself as a particularly good solver, which is fine because I know that I have improved over the year. Um, I didn't do everything, Justin. Sure, yeah, I thought I didn't want to do this, and then I signed up for a bunch of things that I didn't do. So there's that, right? Like I signed up for tech, and then I took notes. Um, and then after all of the note taking was done, I bailed on tech. But every so often, Discord is really exciting because I get that little number one notification that I've been tagged somewhere, and it turns out it's the tech team that's been tagged somewhere, which is like cool. I look at it and and I don't really know what's happening, but it's fine. I'm really glad that I was not in charge of stuff. Um, where yeah, so that's how I started with Palindrome, and I'm really glad that I got the opportunity. It's been a fantastic experience, and I love all of you except for no, that's a lie. I love all of you. Um, yeah, so what did I do? I wrote ministers. Some of you may know me as Dr. Herschel Hayden, Minister of Humanities and Science. I remember my title. This is fine. Working with Ben was super easy. I loved it. Um, what happened initially was, I think, Jenny, who was in charge of like all of the story and like writing and acting overall for all of the 10,000 rounds that we had. Um, she put together a lovely spreadsheet of these are all the things that need doing. People, please sign up if you want to do one of those things that need doing. Please, things need to get done. Um, and I think I'd put my name down as like I would probably like to act as something that seems like maybe a fun thing to do. Hadn't really thought about writing, but when she specifically made a call for um, the ministers, and she said there are 5 ministers plus a couple of like group minister interactions, and we want this to have a cohesive voice. So maybe some people could team up and write them together. I looked at that and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'll write. I don't know. I'll write the engineering person, I suppose, and maybe also uh, possibly the music one. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I was like, I would love to write collaboratively with someone because I find it very difficult to do things all of my own. Um, and then Ben said that he would also like to write some of the ministers. So that's how I started writing ministers with Ben. which was a very easy process because Ben is super good to work with. Everyone should work with Ben, or at least everyone who is also good to work with should work with Ben so that Ben doesn't get overwhelmed with people who are not good to work with. Please be nice to Ben. Um, but yeah, so when we made the ministers, we had like rough sketches initially of what the characters. You're turning bright red. Isn't it winter? You should be inside. You shouldn't be out in the sun getting sunburnt. It's nighttime for you. Ben, what are you doing? Seriously. Um, we can work. We pretend to work. Um, hold on to that for your stream. Yeah, we want to see you go bright red. Um, ministers. I keep getting distracted because I'm reading the chat, but also I need to read the chat, otherwise I don't know what to talk about. So it's a fun, endless cycle, and I am here for it. I hope you're here for it too. Um, nope, forgotten what I was saying. Someone help. Ministers. We were talking about ministers, and we wrote them up as like little like caricature things. Um, thanks, James. Writing with Ben is what we were talking about. Um, and and we did that based on the metas. So if you are not spoiled on the minister metas, well, like mine was spoiled right at the very start, but um, the I think the first thing that we did was we looked at all the minister meta answers because those interactions were going to be, oh, how? Why are we getting back on topic? I mean, well, there'll be diversions. Yosh, I promise there will be many diversions. Um, and they'll just happen along the way. This is story time, spinning time with Renee. It's fine. The topic will meander, and I will stay on meandering topic, and something for everyone. Um, we looked at all of the answers, and from there we decided what would we um, have the ministers like. So because Hayden goes on longer than War and Peace, um, the I sure am spinning a tail. Actually, Justin, I'm spinning a yarn. Get it right? Um, cookies. You know what? I am so excited to one day visit Boston because I've heard so much about your cookies that I just really want to try them. Yeah, yeah, Justin, spinning a yarn. It's this is what I'm doing. Very disappointed in you, but it's okay. We still love you. New batch of cookies. It's cookie talk now, guys. Lavender chocolate chunk. Oh, my mum's been growing lavender. They're like a new fancy breed of lavender that has like fancy floppy flower things that is not standard in lavender because normal lavender has like, tiny little flower bud things, and this is a really like it's a more ostentatious lavender. It's very pretty. I don't know what it's called, but maybe you can Google new breeds of lavender or like new lavender flowers or something. Lavender chocolate chunk is your new drag name. Um, I would solo test cookies. That is a solo test that I could get behind. When I joined Palindrome, one of the things that I said to James before fully committing to jump across was, "Ooh, I hear that you have to test solve a lot of things. I don't know if I can test solve a lot of things. Maybe I could test solve if I was test solving with other people." So thank you to everyone in Palindrome who test solved with me because otherwise I would not have test solved anything at all. If it was like if if it was just, hey guys, here are puzzles, please just take them away individually and spend some time on it and solve the puzzle alone. I don't think I would have done that um because you can't talk to people while you do that. And also then I need to get all of the ahas myself. And really what I want to do in test solves is just say funny things for Jen to take note of. That's all I want to do. And occasionally some of those things will be the ahas, and that's helpful, I hope, for people. But mostly I'm just saying things, and and That's my test of experience. But it's fine. We were talking about a completely different thing. We were talking about a completely different thing. We were talking about Hayden. We were talking about Hayden going on longer than War and Peace, which is how we came up with, okay, so obviously Hayden is just going to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And we talked about the settings of the characters, like what backdrop they would be filmed in front of, and also what sort of costuming they would have, because we knew that we were going to have backup ministers. Um, Smoky. Smoky? Smoky in your biscuit cooking book? I assume that the section of the book that you're trying things from is not like a fantasy fiction book, which was my initial understanding and probably wrong. Um, but I would eat a smoky biscuit. I love smoky flavored things. Cigarettes are bad though. Don't like cigarettes. Don't smoke, kids. Um, but yeah, we had thoughts on all of the different ministers, and Barker was somewhat buggy, and therefore, um, how does I would eat a smoky biscuit sound dirty, Justin? How? That's not even. Please don't answer that question. This is this is a nice, friendly, probably safe for work space. Um, Smoky is not someone's name. How do you use a mod? I don't know. I'm busy spinning. You guys can just manage that on your own. Um, I think. Ooh, I think you can mute me from chat, so you should be able to mute a mod. Maybe. Smoky Biscuit is my new old-timey bluesman pseudonym. I think Smoky is just a good name, so I guess that's why Smoky can be a name, and therefore Justin, get out of the gutter. Um, it's fine, totally fine. So we were talking about Barker and how unmod them. Yeah, but I don't know if mods can add other mods, and I don't know if mods can unmod people. Let's talk Barker. Yeah, so we were talking about how Barker was going to have a real messy, like cables everywhere. Definitely wants to fix everything. Thanks, Tug, for following. How are you? We are talking about minister matters at the moment, so the spoilers right now are just the answers to the minister matters. Um, Man, so many good names getting thrown around. I really like Bluesman's pseudonym. It's got a really nice ring to it. I think it's because of all the M's and the N's and the S's, and so it's got like, the two words have similar consonants in them. It's very pleasing. Anyway, back on track. Um, Somewhat buggy. So we decided that Barker, which was fitting as the engineer, would have all of the um, would have a real focus on wanting to fix things. Um, and this is cool. This keeps on shaking, so I'm gonna move it. I'm just gonna sit here. Fine. Um, so we, man, talking while reading chat, very distracting. Talking while not reading chat, don't know what to talk about. It's a difficult choice. I'm gonna keep reading chat. Um, Barker needed to keep on fixing everything, and so she was very focused on all the things. And when we talked about all of the ministers and the backgrounds, and knowing that we'd need to have backup ministers, and therefore that their costumes needed to be distinctive enough for people to be able to have them all over the place, but also easy enough to get, except for obviously Alexi Lewis, because Ben was like, by the way, I'm gonna be Mr. Music because I have, you know, because it's me, which was fine. Yeah, backup ministers except for Lewis. It turns out the people who write really love the characters that they write for, because the only backup Hayden was Jenny, because she came in and she read all the scripts when we wrote them, and she was like, I would love to be Hayden. And I was like, yeah, cool. I also want to be Hayden. And I wrote Hayden. So Jenny was very lovely and was like, okay, that's cool. You can be Hayden. I will be backup Hayden. So thank you, Jenny, for letting me be Hayden. When we wrote it, because it's Hayden's, investigation plot, spoilers, because it's Hayden's library, that that goes missing, um, we were like, everyone can be inside, everyone can, film inside and just have like an indoor background, green screen, whatever. Um, or Mike, I think, had real books behind him because yay for real books. Um, but I was like, Hayden definitely needs to be filmed outdoors because it just needs to be real empty space, right? Um, and Ben was constantly saying, "Whoo, yeah, well, it's gonna be around November when we start filming. Uh, Way to shade fake books." Well, you know, there's real books are just really nice and tangible. I like tangible things. I don't know if you noticed with the stuff around me that are like tangible things. Oh no. But I like tangible things, and tangible books are also lovely. I also don't actually have very many tangible books here at home at all because um, it's just I don't really have a bookcase. I just have a large Kindle collection, um, and that's where Amazon gets money from me. But yeah, Hayden outside, and Ben kept on saying it's going to be very cold outside for filming, and I kept on saying, Ben, that's okay. It's going to be summer in Australia, and he's like, yeah, okay, but it'll be cold in Boston, but it's fine because it was lovely weather in here in Australia when we filmed all of the Hayden videos. I have so many Hayden bloopers. We did almost get rained on every single time. Um, we, yeah, just the rain was really unhelpful. Who helped film Hayden? It was James who helped film Hayden. I was like, hey, James, how do you feel about standing there and like keeping your arm very, very steady while I talk nonsense multiple times on repeat? The first one that we filmed was the end of the Hayden meta because that one we filmed that one before we did all of the group ministers. So that was fun. Ooh, that was something that I was going to show you, but then I forgot to prepare for. So we'll see. But can I still recite my lines by heart? Oh, Justin, no, I cannot because I made it up every single time. What I did, we can go back to the video. Hang on. Keyboard, right. Uh, let's come back here. So I think this was the first take. Um, and what I did at the time was you can see that I've got a Kindle in my hand. I had downloaded the script onto the Kindle. Nice stuff. Thanks, Murphy. I made it myself. I didn't have a tripod for filming. I do not have a tripod for filming. What were you going to give? Oh, his tripod. Huh. Yeah, no, I didn't have a tripod for filming. I had a friend for filming. So that was a fun experience because every time I said things, James made faces because because craft is now allowed in chat. Thanks, Justin, my friendly mod. That's probably the level of swearing that I will allow. Um, but yeah, I let's see if I can play this again. I'll turn it off endless loop. Um, you do have a good poker face. You didn't use it. Yeah, I also have a fantastic poker face. But it's real different. Here we go. Hey, you startled me. I'm Dr. Herschel Hayden, Minister of Humanities and Science. Oh, hey, you figured out that the thing goes on. You can see how much I'm looking at my Kindle. That's it. I do not remember my lines at all. This is fantastic. Yeah, so um, that was me going, it's fine. I wrote this script. I know this script. It's all good. And then looking at my Kindle for like every 2 seconds. Video comes through pretty quiet for us. Just pretend that I'm really loud. All good. What is proper? Yeah, proper PPE for Kindle reading is a lab coat so that if the Kindle explodes, it does not shatter. And like, well, it does shatter, but it doesn't stab you, I guess, probably. Is e-ink liquid? Maybe it's making sure that the liquid doesn't get on your skin. should have had gloves. Also, the safety glasses for Kindle reading, very important again if it spontaneously shatters or something. And then we were joking about this in our little Sydney HQ actually. We love having the lab coat and the glasses and also the scarf, the really, really dangly scarf. Let me, just a second. I'm not sure if this translated in all of the videos, but the scarf is like one of the least safe things you could possibly have. Um, in a lab because it's like incredibly dangly. Um, and this is a scarf that I made back in high school. I think back before I started liking plant and animal natural fibers. So therefore, this will definitely be one of those things that if is lit on fire will melt to your skin. Um, so So no scarves in labs, but our notes for costuming for Hayden at the time were lab coat, PPE, safety glasses, and feather boas. Um, and then when I was like, cool, yeah, I'm gonna play Hayden. I don't have a feather boa, but I looked in my wardrobe, and here's a scarf that I made for it back, uh, I don't know, 12 years ago or more. So more. Um, the scarf is the humanities part. This is exactly what we were doing. Um, you know, people in lab coats are more human when they wear unsafe things. I think is how that works. Um, yeah. So I do not, to come back to Justin's question. I can stay on track. It's fine. I got this. To come back to Justin's question, I do not remember all of my lines because I've made them up every single time. I just kind of read through and had the vibe going on, um, and I did not, when I was filming that, have lines playing in my head. I don't know if I have a lot to talk about if I'm not answering questions. So please ask questions and then I can answer them and then it's all good. Oh my goodness. No, this hasn't been an hour. I looked at the clock and it's 10 o'clock now and I was like, have I been going for an hour? But I started half an hour ago, so it's all good. There's a pattern here. Yeah, well, it's fine. Um, I've forgotten what I'm talking about. Again, it happens. 37 minutes. It's all good. Some of those minutes were playing a video of me talking on repeat. So, it's different. I do not remember my lines and I had to stand there and like try multiple takes before I was like, I just need to get rid of the Kindle. Because if it's in my hand, then I will keep on looking at it and I will stress about um, the different things like word for word that I'm meant to say, which is a really difficult way to learn lines if you haven't practiced, and I hadn't practiced. So we kind of practiced on the day, and then I talked about how um, it goes on long and on and on and on and on, and it was the longest thing that I've ever seen. And every time I said that, James just made this really stupid face. So listening back and watching back on the videos, I can tell when he makes the faces because I was facing the camera and he was behind it. Um, and so I got to um, try to not laugh about this very serious thing that had happened where everything went wrong and you know um yeah, slightly different take in every take of Lewis's stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what is more prone to happen also when we are the ones who have written it because we have an idea in our head already, so we're not trying to follow the script, whereas I expect that Maggie and Nick, who played Dewey and Barker, were probably really good at like staying true to the script because they picked up these characters and then they worked with them. Um, Whereas I was like, I just talk about how it's real long, and then I get distracted and talk about the carnival, and then I come back and talk about it. Did you know that the script used to be longer and we cut it because people thought that it was going to be too long and that people didn't want to hear about too much too much Hayden rambling. Um, so actually, I have some of the muted sections. Did it go longer than War and Peace? It did not. But how long? I mean, longer than 11 characters, I'll give you that much. 34 people want to hear more Hayden rambling. Okay, here is some of the muted scenes. So Aaron is the wonderful, wonderful person who I'm not doing a wrap up post. I'm doing a wrap up ramble. This is what you get. I hope you like it. I hope you can find the information that you need. Um, did I actually speak for the entire parts that were muted? Yes, yes, I did, and they're a little bit different every time. I've got a couple of them that I can show you. Hang on. I need to stop spinning because I need to do things. Let's come back to this. So most of the muted places were um, at the
Go.
end. Most of the muted places were towards the end of the group video. Yep. So this is when we had a little mini freak out when we were thinking about. I'll come back to this because getting distracted. We'll come back. But how we filmed everything was we did a big Zoom video with all six of us who were the ministers. Um, and that's why I filmed my solo part first because we had not yet done that Zoom. But we got all of the six ministers together and we went through the lines, and it was very, very fun. We arranged the screen in the way that we wanted them to pop up, and then we, all had some fun confusion trying to figure out which direction to look. These are things that I remember. Um, I'm in the bottom corner, and Lewis is here, and then the two Roach brothers, Randy and Riley, are off to the side, and then Dewey was uh, in the center in the top row, and Barker was directly above me. So these are the notes that we had. You still have your directions taped to your wall. I think I had it really easy. You probably also had an easy time because you were in a corner. I felt bad for um, Maggie and Ben, who were in the middle, and they had to look both left and right all over the time. Whereas I was just kind of like, if I look in one of these directions, it's probably fine. Barker is up, and then this is kind of safe, but it's all good. We videoed that. We had a call, and we talked through the script, and then we ran through it mostly without pauses. I think Ben did a little bit of um, snipping and cutting just to get better timing, and then we had a full run through, which audio wise was probably what we were aiming for. And then how I filmed my part, at least, was I had that audio playing in my head while I stood and we can come back to this now. I had that audio playing in my head, and then I can't, that's not where I play things. I had that audio in my head, and then I would hear different people speaking, and then I would look at where I knew they were. Um, and then after we did all of that and we did those takes, um, I think other people had different strategies and or maybe didn't have two phones while they were filming because I hear isolation still a thing. So if people were not able to listen to it in their head, which is 100% the easiest way to do it, there were definitely people who were very impressively like noting times where they had to look in different places um, and doing it that way. So we were like, this seems like a really tricky thing to get right. What if we have everyone take individual lines? And so, depending on how everything comes together, maybe we will get Aaron to just film the things. I talked to you out of trying to work off a write up of the timings of things. Yeah, yeah. Ben, hard mode. Why would you do this? I was like, just play the things. I just talked over myself and it was really easy. So I don't know what the problem is. But I had all of the audio playing in my head. Um, So I've got headphones in right now. They're not very obvious, but bye, Jen. Have fun reenacting Hayden. Um, yeah, we got full takes. Yes, this is a video of just the line where I get muted. Um, and I think it's really, really noisy because we were outside.
Soon, because everything happens so suddenly and I can't get my thoughts together. Well, I hope that you can help us, because if this keeps happening, it's not just the ministry that's going to go haywire, it's all of Bookspace, and that could mean every character and plotline in Bookspace could be affected, and that would have further implications on the libraries, and then everything else will go terrible as well, and we've got turkeys that are popping in and out of frame, and we've got different animals, and I don't know what else is going to be happening, but I'm
I think James apologized for the birds. Is that what happened? I'm not sure. Um, yeah, we had really, really loud birds when we were filming. This is my honestly my favorite James cameo. Um,
because if this keeps happening, it's not just the ministry that's going to go haywire, it's all of Bookspace. And that could mean every character and plotline in Bookspace could be affected, and that would have further implications for the libraries,
did you
and
hear
then
that
all of the
bird?
other things would go terribly as well, and I don't know what would happen, but it would be really, really bad, and you're just going to keep on recording this, and I'm just going to keep on rambling about all of this other stuff. Hi, Aaron, I hope that you like this film. We've got random bloopers going on, but I'm just really angry at the camera. Hopefully you don't include this when someone is lip reading, because that would just be really baffling for them. You should probably stop recording.
Basically, I just did not. Yeah, that was for Aaron because I think that was after Aaron made the like Hayden waving GIF. Um, so I knew that at least he would have to go through all of the videos. So um, I did not have a script. So for those of you who have seen the video, the when we wrote the script, we basically wrote the stuff that Hayden says, and then the part where Hayden gets muted, and then what everyone else says over the top, and then the script is like, and then Dewey leaves and Hayden is unmuted, and then here's the stuff about pancakes. So the pancakes were in the script, um, but when I was filming, I realized that I did not have any script for for when I was muted, so I was very much just um, talking about whatever popped into my head at the
Everything
time.
happens so quickly, and I can't even get my thoughts together.
This, I think, is the actual video that Aaron used. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm on mute.
Well, I hope that you guys are able to help us, because if this keeps on happening, it's not just the ministry that's going to go haywire, it's all of Bookspace. That could mean every character and every plotline in Bookspace is in danger. That could have further implications for all of the libraries, and everything could go wrong, and everything will go disappearing. And what if all of the trees disappear? Then when will all of the birds be like landing and making their nests and stuff? All of the little baby birds will be really upset unless they've disappeared as well. And then, like, I don't know, will we have any eggs? How will I make pancakes if I don't have eggs? Because I normally do. I use eggs in pancakes? I can't remember anymore. I'm so flustered. I think my whole kitchen is gone. I can't make pancakes at all. I don't have a frying pan or like a spatula, or I don't even have a sink to wash up after everything. Huh. I don't even know the next time I can make pancakes, which is really upsetting
Thanks,
because I was
Debbie.
really looking forward to this morning's pancakes. They were like, they were just so good, and I really want to have them again, but I don't know when I will be able to, because when I was making them, they were just what I did was I
And
added the
this is
milk
the
to the
part that
flour,
you've
and I
all
was
heard now,
adding the milk really slowly so that when I stirred it with the flour,
probably.
there were no clumps. And that worked really, really well. And then also I made sure to add sugar instead of salt, because last time when I was making pancakes, well, I used salt and it was really bad. I
Now
really
you want pancakes? Hi,
really shouldn't do
Silver.
that. I definitely need to write this down, but I don't have anything to write with. I don't have anything to write on. I think that's fine. Um,
Oh, was that the last bit?
yeah, that's the
Cool.
last
That
bit.
sure was the last bit. Hello, Silver. How are you? Glad that you could join us. This is me again. You just had pancakes. Saturday morning is a great time for pancakes. I actually do not normally have pancakes very much at all. And I think it's mainly because I just never have milk in the kitchen because I don't drink milk. So going out to buy milk is just a real hindrance to being able to make pancakes whenever I want. Anyway, that is the story writing. I think that's the bulk of what I can talk about with the story, probably. Um, ooh, pikelets are good. I'm a big fan of pikelets. I'm a big fan of food, let's be honest. We like food, and pancakes are food, so we stand pancakes. Um, Other mystery hunt things. Ooh. So, with Palindrome, writing with Palindrome for the first time ever was very exciting because I got to write my very own first puzzle, which so, these are spoilers for a puzzle in the very last round. But we is James and I, another fellow Aussie who wrote, who held the camera and did not keep a straight face. But we wrote the puzzle named Cheers. And the first thing that we wanted to do when we were writing this puzzle was, um, oh boy, Justin, Aussie is not, no, Justin, Aussie is not spelled with an O. That is not the country, and also we do not use Zs. And why did I mod you? I'm very disappointed. Um, So we wanted to have a puzzle that was a bit more Aussie than most of the uh, American centric best puzzle in the hunt. I'm so glad that you thought so, Happy John. Um, I really enjoyed writing it. I don't know what Aussie and Harriet is. Is this a weird American thing? Um, I have no idea. That's okay. Um, yeah, we at first wanted to talk about differences in language across Australia. So, in the author's notes, if you've had a look at them, you may see mention of things um, oh, like bubblers and sprinklers. Sprinklers? No, water fountains, and like cozies and um, potato scallops. Yeah. No. What the hell? James, potato cake. No. No. It's not a potato cake, it's a potato scallop. Uh, because if we're going to, have wrong names for things, at least let's not name it a dessert thing. Um, yeah. Tim Tams are not an Australian cookie. Uh, oh, Marie, it must be upsetting to know how wrong you are all the time, but that's okay. We still love you. Marie, also another Aussie who came over to join Palindrome, and she wrote so many puzzles. I was amazed every single time because she just kept on churning out new puzzles. And I think Marie also was like, I've never written puzzles before, but here's one, here's another, here's a third, here's a fourth, here's a fifth, here's a sixth. And they were always just so tricky. I always got scared whenever I saw that Marie was calling for a test solve and she was like, some technical experience may be helpful. And I was like, oh boy, I do not think that I have the technical expertise that you're looking for. I actually, that doesn't matter if only four made it into the hunt though, because you wrote so many that like now you've got back pocket puzzle ideas. Um, yeah, red herring. I was out in a bushwalk and I was watching the sunset with friends, and as you do, I pulled out my phone. Um, and I saw people in a voice chat, and it was I think Marie and James and Sahil, and I was like, oh yay, Aussie palindrome voice chat, and I jumped in to it, and it was a test solve for red herring, and I noped out so hard because it looked so tricky. Um, but it sounded like a very interesting puzzle. I was just like, it's a very, very interesting puzzle that is probably not for me. That's okay. Cheers! We were talking about cheers. I am not at all easily distracted, very focused. This is me. Um, Back pocket puzzle ideas is, I mean, if it's not auto banned, it's probably fine, right? I think that's how it works. Um, yeah, we wanted to talk about the differences in in the things that people say, but it turns out that, sorry, Silver, there's not enough like interesting information about different things that Western Australia says compared to everyone else. And it really felt like a lot of the information on the random things that we were finding were really specific to the East Coast, which wasn't really what we wanted to showcase all of Australia and how much we, you know, confuse each other. So I think James had the idea of talking about different drink sizes, which is great because I don't drink, so I have no idea that people have different drink sizes, let alone in different states. Because I've never had the confusion of going somewhere and asking for a size of thing and having a completely thing be given to me. But yeah, we looked at Aussie drink sizes, and that's I guess how we all came to hate Adelaide, because South Australia, man, terrible, not at all consistent with the one thing that all of the other states are able to agree upon. Um, but yeah, we put together information. We were initially thinking about the uh, state animals as a way to get a final answer, but um, cluing that seemed a little bit heavy-handed and weird and unthematic. So I think James did all of the ideas and research and pulling information together for this, because what we did was, when I say we, I mean he. What he did was, um, he grabbed all of the information about Australia's big things, because everyone should learn about Australia's obsession with big things as, the smallest continent. We're like, but wait, look, we're the biggest island. We have big bananas and big pineapples and big oranges and big cherries that have been in multiple locations, and a big, I don't know, gumboot and giant Ned Kelly, and there are so many big things in Australia, and we wanted people to learn about them. You loved learning about the big things. I'm glad. Uh, yeah, what James did was he pulled all of the Wikipedia table entries for Australia's big things into a large table, and then we started filtering them down and trying to find unique answers that could be clued and sound like they were other things until you solved the logic puzzle. Um, and so fun times when we were observing test solves. And this was the first time that I was observing a test solve for a puzzle that I made. Um, we were watching people um, find out about the big things and then look through a list and say, uh, I don't know, for example, oh, a pineapple, that's a fruit, it's probably pineapple. And James and I are in the background going, it's not that's not true. There are so many other fruits. Find all of the other fruits. Why are you not finding all of the other fruits? And the answer to why they are not finding all of the other fruits is because, unlike James, all of the other test solving teams had not pulled, all of the information from the Wikipedia page into a table that they had to strip individual state headings from, and then applied a whole bunch of different filters to, make them alphabetical and ignore leading articles and all of that. So we're sitting there with a really nice clean data set going, it's really obvious to us. Why do people find it so difficult with their, data set that is not already polished from, months of staring at it? Man, observing test solves, very strange, very confusing. Um, but I think my favorite moments in that was, um, what they didn't pull. Yeah, it's crazy that they did not pull all of the data and arrange it themselves, and instead trusted the information to just be readable, which, it is, but it's harder. It's probably also not worth the time, probably. But yeah, observing the test where Sahil was in it, he uh, was another fellow Aussie, and when we did the first test, I think there were no Australians in the test, um, and we wanted to test it with both Australians and not to see how the clues would read and whether ahards would be found differently and whether it was sufficiently clued for, a non-Australian puzzle hunt. Um, and hello, hi. We are talking spoilers for Cheers, which you possibly have not opened. So maybe this is not the best time for you to listen in. Um, but yeah, we basically had Sahil, another fellow Aussie, on the Tessel, and he was going through um, and looking at the different drink sizes that I mentioned, and he goes, "Oh, okay. So there are the four drink sizes. Cool. So there's middies, schooners, pints, and I guess jugs. Jugs is the fourth size. What line numerically was that? I do not know what line numerically that was. But um, but yeah, we we did not mention jugs in our puzzle, but I think what happened was the hill looked at it and went, okay, some of these sizes are sizes that I in where I live am familiar with, and some of them are sizes that I am not familiar with because they are from elsewhere. But of the four sizes, yep, recognize middies, schooners, pints, good, good, good. Fourth size, probably jugs. Let's figure this out. And it was incredibly funny for James and I listening to that. We're like, it's not good at all. Where did you pull that from? But yeah, writing Cheers was very exciting because that was the very first puzzle that I wrote, and um, you can get ponies. I think that ponies were not mentioned because they were a size too small for us. We wanted to constrain ourselves to sizes that um, all of the states had a like a fairly canonical name for. So there were some sizes where only a handful of states had a name for them, and other states were just kind of like, we don't really talk about this size, like Bruno. So we just excluded those and went with the four that all of the states talked about. And along with dealing with that difficulty, we excluded the territories because they also did not have enough satisfying information to make an interesting puzzle. And that's why we clued that it was just the states. Um, but yeah, now's probably a time where anyone, if they've left because of spoilers, can magically intuit through their heads that and brain osmosis or something, psychic abilities that the tier spoilers are done, and they can come back. Uh, yeah. What else? What am I talking about? Someone asked me questions. Osmosis. Oh, I also helped write Strange Garnets, but it was uh, that puzzle changed a lot. It is safe. We are safe because Strange Garnets, I'm not going to be talking about spoilers. I only wrote one part of the puzzle. It was the puzzle where oh boy, Nightbot does not like the caps spamming. It looks like it's coming through though. So I think it's fine. And if you're okay with Nightbot just, occasionally berating you, then I think we're all good. I don't remember why I set up Nightbot. Um, you know what? The original Sony, I'm going to pretend that everything that you have written is in caps, and then um, and then it will be fine, and your communication will be just as clear as you want it to be. Um, I don't think Nightbot. Oh no, Nightbot isn't. I don't know if Nightbot is a mod. It's just a bot. Sorry, guys. See, I'm reading that as, it's okay, I can berate Nightbot back. So it's fine, right? Because it's all caps. I can do this in my head. Oh no, I can't just let go of my spinning. That's not how that works. Um, hey, look, my spinning is growing. That's fun. Um, Strange Garnets. I only wrote one part of that puzzle. It was the one with the 14 boards with the colors and the shapes that Justin did the art for incredibly quickly. If I did mod it, it would delete messages too. Well, I will not mod it because my hands are busy. I'm busy doing other things, spinning yarns. Um, so that puzzle, I think that was initially what I had designed for it. I was just like, I'll just have boards, and then it'll already be paired, and then people can just get an answer out of that. And then when we were talking about it, um, the there was a suggestion of, hey, um, why don't we make it a little bit more interesting and make it so that it's a puzzle to pair up the boards as well. Um, and and so then I did that, which turned out to be doable, fine, but also way too much for a mini puzzle, especially when it was alongside so many other puzzles that uh, I think at their initial stages were already way too much for a mini puzzle alongside 7 other mini puzzles. So we dialed it back. And so that was, I guess, a really good um, experience in seeing how the puzzle scope could change a bit. Um, but yeah, like I honestly don't think that my part of that puzzle was that interesting. It was just, um, you know, a thing that you had to do. Um, but I really, really enjoyed the extraction of it, which I did not work on at all. But Ka Kian, who I worked with for all 3 of my puzzle writing experiences because he was my editor for the other 2 puzzles. He wrote the extraction for Strange Garnets, and we did have to adjust it to make it um, a bit more clued because what we discovered when we were testing was that everyone who was familiar with the dataset was already working on this puzzle or already spoiled. Um, but there was, within the team when we called for test solvers, there was no one who was able to come in and say, "Oh, hey, I know what this is referencing," because we were all on mute already. Um, but yeah, I think that the extraction is really clever, and people should go check it out. The other puzzle that I did, because we're talking about puzzles, because I can stay on track. The other puzzle that I did was my first solo puzzle, my only solo puzzle, and that's okay, because I like doing stuff with other people. Was Charlotte's Web, which I think probably most people have seen because it was a round 2 puzzle. So Charlotte's Web is, I guess, my lifelong dream of having a crafting puzzle in a puzzle hunt that I'm not mad at. Um, you actually knew the data set even though you weren't thoroughly familiar with it. And eventually, after 3 tries, you were available during a test solve. Oh, cool. Hey, noises. Hello, Matt. Um, yeah, I'm glad that you thought that Charlotte's Web was so much fun. Yeah, I ran test solves for this very differently because it didn't seem like the sort of thing that would be fun to watch a bunch of people solve. So most of our test solving, yay, test solve talk, most of our test solving processes were the author and/or editor would schedule a time and then ask people to sign up to test solve at that time. And then everyone would hang out in a voice chat and probably look at a shared Google Sheets document or something. And then the test solve would be observed in that way. And Charlotte's Web did not happen like that because I don't know. I think people don't like to watch people craft. Is that true? Is that right? Why are you all here? So yeah, Charlotte's Web originally was going to be incredibly different. There was a different author who had a different crafting idea, um, but eventually, for various reasons, that didn't pan out. It was a little bit similar to something that was going to happen later, um, and then also they were busy with other puzzles that they were working on, and there was also a part where I was you don't know about it in the context of a hunt. Yeah, it's definitely tricky to figure out. Um, it's tricky to figure out where it should be belonging and where a good place for it is. There was a little bit of freaking out by Eric, our fantastic team leader, captain, fearless, keeps on top of everything man, um, because um, because some of the test solve feedback that we got was someone who solved it, but also put down that they had taken 5 hours. And I looked at it and I was like, it's fine. I know that they've, been looking at it on and off throughout the whole weekend or something, and I assume that it's not actually 5 hours. But also, yeah, yeah, yeah. 5 hours is what they put, and I chatted to them, and they were like, "Yeah, it's fine." But Eric looked at it and said, "The last test solve said it took 5 hours. This is not okay for a mystery puzzle." And I was like, "Yeah, but they were solo, right? Like this is not five, like group effort hours. This is very much just one person." Potentially for 5 hours, but also being able to do other things, right? Like they would be able to talk about puzzle ideas. They'd probably be able to like look over someone's shoulder and solve clues, right? Like I don't know if you can tell, but it's possible to like do things with your hands and also sustain a conversation, mostly without getting too distracted. So I think I looked at the 5 hours and I was like, I am 100% convinced that this is not a problem. And Eric looked at the 5 hours and went, oh boy, I know that we've got a lot of progress on this, but also, please, I don't think we can have a 5 hour test solve, make it through to round two. So I had a chat with the person who test solved it, and they were like, oh yeah, well like 5 hours, but also I was playing board games, so like it's not 5 dedicated hours. um, and I think actually, Marie, I don't know if she's still in here, but Marie was one of the first test solvers, and she drew it all out by hand on paper. And I think she said it took 2+ hours maybe, and that was with a bunch of drawing it in the opposite direction first, which was very encouraging for me because it sounded like it would be able to solve in in less than 2 hours, because we made it really clear what direction you had to go. Yeah, and there were definitely some teams uh, who afterwards pointed out to me that it was actually quite easy to um, solve without having to draw it out or anything or knit it. I think it took me about 1 hour or so to knit it, but I was knitting from a very different set of instructions. I knit it from a really nonsense diagram that I can maybe find on my computer. I did not think about this, but I can show you if I can find it. Um, the the diagram that I used when I was creating it. What I did was I got polar coordinates, and then I just like drew all over them, and it was a hot mess. Very difficult to actually, um, very difficult to like read and stuff. It's all bad all the time. Is this it? No, it's the other thing. Okay. Um, oh, this one does not look quite as messy. So maybe we can enjoy this beautiful work of art. Um, a Rubik's Cube. I mean, Rubik's Cubes are great. I No, yeah, I probably could have read it all in caps mentally. Um, let's see. How do I share a different screen? Let's all learn how to stream together. This one. This will do. Okay. I know how to do things. Um, yeah, so I found the polar grid and then I just kind of like whacked lines onto it and then whacked dots onto it. And then from there I wrote out a chart. This is actually not the incredibly messy thing that I was thinking of. Because there's one where I like drew a lot more lines all over it. Um, and oh, is it this? Nope, it's not that. It's less exciting. You've probably seen this already. Yeah. Um, but oh, it would be a picture. Oh, keep on clicking the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. Oh, would it be saved in? No, it wouldn't be a picture. I don't know what it is. We'll just have to pretend. Everyone can just pretend that on that, clean lines and dots, I've also drawn with my trackpad in bright green circles every time I needed to write about the stitch count increasing. So there's circles going around. There's also wobbly lines of just highlighting. Also, I ended up getting rid of that arrow. Um, yeah, everyone imagine it looking extra trippy and very messy. And then you'll get the right idea of what I was, I guess, knitting from, um, which is probably less good than what you were knitting from because you probably had numbers if you were knitting it, and I was staring at this and counting boxes, but sometimes I was counting 4 boxes at a time, and sometimes I was counting 2 boxes at a time, and sometimes I was counting 1 box at a time. Not at all helpful, but super fun. Oh, thanks for timing out Nightbot. Um, oh, Cube on video call. Right. Um, yeah, so that was how Charlotte's Web happened, and and it happened because I was asked to make initially a additional part of the crafting puzzle for round two because the the initial idea, which I can probably talk about, it's happening, was that it was going to be a crochet pattern for a QR code, which is very cool, and you can it's very doable to like make a QR code that is, it's just empty boxes and filled in boxes, right? And you can do that in crochet. It's not hard. But the problem with that is that um, if anyone actually spends the time to make the QR code by actually crocheting it and then discovers that it's a QR code, that is 100% time wasted because you cannot scan a crocheted QR code. It does not work. So um, we wanted to make something where if you actually made the thing that would be helpful rather than something where the puzzle intent is to not make the thing and to program it or chart it onto boxes and then scan or something like that. So I was already in that conversation because I was in every conversation that I could get into, which is maybe why I test solved so many puzzles. Because after pretty much every single puzzle that I test solved, I was like, I'm going to join this chat and talk to the people who made the puzzle. So I was everywhere. Um, but what I threw out a couple of different ideas, but some crafting things are a little bit too niche. Oh, you loved having me in all my puzzle chats after test solved things. I loved being in every single puzzle chat after I test solved things. Oh, bye, Marie. Say hi to your family. Um, so yeah, I love to talk to people, guys. um, so So we threw around a couple of ideas, and I was like, I guess ooh, here's something that I can show you that is not a puzzle if I have it. If I know where it is. I don't know where it is. I'll be back in a minute if I can find things. Or you can just, ooh, maybe you can just listen to me wander around the place while I look for things that I didn't even know I planned to show you, and that I may or may not know the location of. What fun. Please behave. Ooh. Nope. Oh, found something. This will do. So, a project that has been going on for like, I don't know, years, and has just been like, sitting in the back of my brain, taking up space, is just like knitting words. Um, so, if you can see this is a word that I have knitted. Um, and it's tricky. It takes time to come up with a pattern that works, that is readable, that is there's not really boring letters. This is basically my handwriting. So these letters don't exist as a pattern unless I make them. And I started making a bunch of them and then I stopped. And my first thought when we were talking about making a knitting type puzzle is maybe this is the motivation that I need to chart out all of these different letters that can be knit and visible. And the problem with that is that as a chart, um, this is, maybe you can just sit this here for now. Oh no, but then I can't do things with my hands. Yeah, no, that's fine. Um, I'll go back to spinning. As a chart, it's actually really easy to read, and as a pattern, it's it's like as a written pattern, it's very easy to chart. And also, when I was looking at that, I was like, I don't know if I will actually be able to chart out a 12-letter answer in a way that I am happy with. That would actually be a lot of work for potentially a not very interesting puzzle. Because yeah, so we were throwing things around, and then someone said, but it doesn't actually. You don't have to spell out the letters. You can use other means of um, extraction. What about Braille? So that's where I ended up plonking all of those nonsense dots on the circle. And I initially had the arrow at the top as well to show where the top of it would be, because it used to just be straight up 37 dots, 37 bugs, without any of the 12 different insects that I named them as. Uh, Turns out, so that's what that looks like. I have here. This is the first thing that I knitted, and it's the only thing I knit. Let me have a look and see where the top is. Um, oh, it would be here. So this is what I knitted um, for that puzzle, and it's this the right way? These are the first five. So it's possible to see, and if you stretch it out a little bit more, you can see it. If you look at the solutions, this is what I took a photo of. Um, it is possible to see the answer, but also it's very easy to miss the answer because sometimes rows and columns of things plotted on a circle are not the cleanest way to express things. It is not a tortilla. It is cotton though, and therefore, like a tortilla, it is plant-based, but it is not cooked and it is not designed to be eaten. And also, this little wire thing going through it, through the edge, is wire, and therefore you can't eat that too. Um, you'd eat it. Please don't eat knitting. Get your fiber intake from other foods, guys. Um, but yeah, that's what I made. And the first thing I did was I made the round chart, and then I put all the dots on it, and then I knitted it to see if the dots landed where I hoped they would land. Um, and they did enough for me to not want to redo it. Um, and then I started writing out the story. And you guys, it is really, really boring. You don't think that's what fiber means, Professor? I'm a doctor. Um, that is exactly what fiber means. Fiber is fiber. That's plant fiber. You can get it from vegetables, but also cotton, not a standard food. So, it's the same. Um, Man, I've seen all of these pictures of knitted noodles and knitted pastas and things, and it looks really fun to do, but also, um, I just never do it because when there's food in front of me, I just eat it. I have gummy bears. I grabbed gummy bears because um, I think this is the energy that we need for streams or something. I don't know. But are you jealous? I have gummy bears. They are Haribo gummy bears. This is a snack report, you guys. You have gummy bears too? Or are you just laughing at what I said? Look, I have gummy bears. Um, yeah. So get ready for, the sugar high part of the stream because that wasn't. So, you know, it's all good. Um, you also have gummy bears. Everyone should have gummy bears. Oh no, the mod, please just like time out. Thank you. You want gummy bears? Mm, please tell me if the sound of the gummy bears is very upsetting to you. I can't actually do anything about it, but maybe I'll just eat less. Um, Too early to eat killer pythons. Chocolate biscuits, not smoky, not Tim Tams. Um, I mean, chocolate biscuits are also good. Um, Unless it's like biscuits and gravy type biscuits, which could be baffling. Um, I think it was only last year or the year before that I learnt that the gravy of biscuits and gravy is also not the same gravy that I am familiar with. It's not just the biscuits that are baffling. Um, that's okay. Sounds like a strange meal anyway. Um, I don't have gravy with my chocolate biscuits. Um, I don't think so. Normally not, because I don't dip my biscuits. Um, some people dip their biscuits in tea. Um, but often that's milky tea. Oh no. Gummy bears are probably not what I should be eating when I'm spinning. It's fine, they're not actually sticky, but also I feel like maybe there's like slight sugariness on them that is getting onto my fingers. It's fine, I'll just have real sweet yarn. I'll wash it. It'll be all good. Um, you walk away from the stream, you missed all the food talk. You can't hear me? Um, Whew. I am talking. I feel like people are hearing. Um, I love shakshuka. Shakshuka is great. Um, yeah, I'm. If you type M on the Twitch stream, then it will automatically mute if your focus is not in the chat. So maybe when you started typing man, um, there we go. We are puzzle solvers. We've solved the puzzle. I do it a lot where I like my focus is somewhere different, and then every time I type M, it's just like I can't hear anymore. What is this nonsense? Yeah, we're talking about gummy bears and biscuits and how I guess how it's nearly 11 in the morning. This is the right time for gummy bears. Um, this is my stream snack because I am healthy. We were talking about fiber. Oh, Debbie, we were talking about how this looks like a tortilla, and I said you shouldn't eat it. I think that's how we got into food chat. We are all caught up now. Uh, yeah, Charlotte's Web. Real boring to write a puzzle where you're just trying to say, um, I just saw the very, very good point that Sony made about me trying to explain to Debbie how to unmute me. It's the least effective explanation. Bye, Silva. Um, that did not even register. Okay, I guess this is when I cry on stream. It's from laughing at how dumb I was trying to explain how to be unmuted. Thank you. I'm afraid I'm gonna choke because, you know, It's fine. I'm not gonna choke. We're all good. Um, well, Debbie, I'm glad that you managed to unmute me, even though it wasn't my explanation that helped, because that's not how mute was works. Um, but yeah, Charlotte's Web, bugs, puzzle, writing, 37 bugs when you're just talking about taking steps and catching bugs is incredibly boring to write if you're just saying bugs every single time. Um, and I was complaining about this, I think, to James and Kieran, and I was like, everything is basically like a puzzle is designed. I just need to write a story, um, and I hate writing this story. And they were suggesting like, what if you just, use different names for the bugs? And I was like, oh, but that I don't want people to read into that and think that's a clue just because I said, she caught a flying ant and then she caught a moth and then she caught a Christmas beetle or anything else. Um, but I was still stuck on it for, I think, weeks after. Um, and eventually I decided to really lean into it and make it a hint. And so then I researched a lot of bugs, you guys. I think a lot of them are Australian bugs just because the list of insects that I found, the list of alphabetical insects that were flying that I found online were not very comprehensive except for this random list of Australian insects. So so I pulled a lot of bugs from that. We do have so many bugs. A lot of our terrible, dangerous things are little. Um, I think, I don't know. Um, and then also I went into like a little researching rabbit hole about spiders and how they sense and whether they can see and how they feel things, and that was probably less fun, but it felt necessary to be mostly accurate, even though it's probably not. Like, I mean, that's not how spiders make webs anyway, so it's not accurate. But um, I wanted to try and be as accurate as I could be within my puzzle writing constraints. And so I just really leaned into it and I assigned 12 different bugs, one for each of the 12 different letters, which allowed some puzzlers to uh, shortcut the puzzle. And I think that's okay because it's a round two puzzle. It's not meant to be impossibly difficult. Um, Look, new gummy bear. So yeah, these are the puzzles that I wrote. And then the other thing that I did with Palindrome is I test solved a couple of puzzles, which was fun because there were so many fantastic puzzles that other people wrote. Um, and honestly, the MIT Mystery Hunt experience, thanks, James. Yeah, a couple of puzzles. Um, Gross. The yeah, the weekend of solving puzzles and like honestly every puzzle hunt, um, there's always heaps of puzzles and it's a little bit overwhelming, because you can never see all of the puzzles, and I didn't see all of the puzzles. There are still heaps of puzzles that people keep on mentioning, and I don't know how they work. I haven't solved them. Some of them I've barely even seen. Everyone keeps telling me that Oxford Children's Dictionary is really great, and I never solved it. I was really sad when the test solve was announced, and I think I think James test solved it and was like, Renee, I reckon you'd really like this puzzle. And then that was like, I don't know, what he tested was the last test solve. You test solved too well. You closed the test solves. Um, and so there was no more opportunity to test solve that. So I just settled for test solving every other puzzle that I could get into, um, which, was very fun. Um, and it provided fun little opportunities like, I think, um, I really loved Tryst of Fate. But also the initial poem for Tryst of Fate, I think, did not have enough clues for people to know exactly what to do. So then there was chatter about in the Discord channel that I joined because it was a Discord channel, and so I joined it. There was chatter about cluing more things and then um, increasing the verse. It used to be just 14 lines. It used to be a sonnet, and they were like, it seems like maybe we can't clue this in the poem at the beginning. Maybe we just need to like write out the instructions, but then that feels a little bit less thematic and fun. And I was like, can I write this poem for you? because because I would love for it to stay as a poem. Um, so yeah, test solving things kind of let me um, be involved in some of the puzzles that I didn't write as well. um, and And there was another one, Ada Twist Scientist, where they were like workshopping a clue, and I was like, "Oh, hello, David, new follower. Thank you. I very rarely stream, but you can follow me for now." There was, I think, one of the clues being workshopped, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about the stresses. Maybe it could be this." And this conversation went on for a while, and eventually, Jenny, more new followers. Thank you. Um, Jenny said, "Renee, um, we definitely have enough input already, which is like a completely fair statement for her to have made, because she was just like, we've got multiple authors and also an editor on this. So I'm really glad that she spoke up. Why is everyone following? Why is everyone following now? Is everyone excited that I've got like sounds up? I'm excited because I didn't realize that I had sounds up until, this stream. Um, so yay, sounds for everyone. Um, what else? I don't know what else to talk about. Um, because I'm a cool person. Tell us about the things you're thankful for. Um, I am really thankful for thanks, Nicholas Shaney. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to work with Palindrome throughout the year. I remember what I was going to say now. Puzzle hunts, all of the puzzles, really overwhelming, but test solving them throughout the year, way less overwhelming, and you get to see more puzzles. And it's just a much more. You just got here. Twitch doesn't even have a like recently viewed button, so if I switch to my phone, it's hard to find the channel if you're not following. Oh, that's fair. That is fair. Um, I, yeah, I do follows like that as well, and it's probably less obvious if people turn off the notifications. But here we are. Um, yeah, I'm really thankful that I got to solve puzzles with everyone throughout the year. I'm really thankful for all of the friends that I've made. This is like a massive group of people who I didn't know any of them before the start of last year. I think the only people who I vaguely knew about were so I mentioned this yesterday in Jen's stream, but I was the most excited that Jen was part of Palindrome because I knew Jen from Escape This Podcast. She's done a couple of amazing audio escape rooms on their podcast. Everyone should check out Escape This Podcast. I think Eldritch Garden is a blast. I've run it for a couple of friends, and it was incredibly frustrating because they did not understand like the whole thing at all. And even then, it was still a very exciting thing. Um, we forgot follow was a thing. I'm cool. It's actually really warm today. I should probably mute Discord. You can hear Discord? I can't hear Discord, but let me get on that. Thank you for pointing that out. Um, let's mute Discord. How to mute? Uh, Notifications. Sounds. Ha ha ha. Oh no, does scroll not work on this keyboard? Alright. I'm going to turn off the message sound, and all of the other sound notifications seem to be for voice chats that I have joined. So maybe that's fine. Um, someone tell me if set it to do not disturb. Huh. That makes sorry, escape this podcast. ETP. Um, Set my Discord to do not disturb. That sounds like a good plan. You will not receive any desktop notifications. Genius! We're all learning today. What is being said? The true mystery hunt are the friends I made along the way. Yes, that and the food that was inside us all along, or something, I think. Um, Is there a law that every Aussie podcast has to start with old-timey intro music? That is not a law. I want to say that, whew, this is a very not safe for work podcast, but Free to Good Home has not at all retro intro music. I think also that Free to Good Home does not care for keeping with copyright laws. Um, oh no, that's true. Don't tell them. um, um, so, whew, um, the the other podcast I can think of that is in the same line but a little bit safer, which is incidentally, if any of you have noticed all of the safe and not safe reacts, let me introduce you to Dragon Friends, who, oh man, big soft titty. Don't let's. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should not have recommended Pretty Good Home first. But um, Dragon Friends does their own music, and I think for the past few years their intro has been by the illustrious Tom Cardy, who will make a song at the drop of a hat. So in answer to your question, Shai, no, there is not a law, but potentially um, there are reasons why it is a trend. It's not Tom Hardy, it is Tom Cardy. So that H for hotel, if you change that into a C for Charlie, then yes, you will find Tom Cardy, which may or may not be your jam. It is the keyboard guy. Oh my goodness. Yes. He's kind of like a yes with the moustache, and like there'll be the video. So he does all of the music for Dragon Friends, which is how we now have safe and not safe and canon reacts all over the place. Yes, BigSoftTitty.png is the podcast of Demi Lardner and Tom Walker. They are friends with Michael Hing and Ben Jenkins. Um, Tom Walker does a lot of guesting on Dragon Friends. Oh, Shy, this is a whole new world of nonsense. My strongest recommendation is for Dragon Friends, um, and then everything else is adjacent Aussie nonsense. That is in the direction of Dragon Friends, but also going way past into more nonsense. But yes, let us introduce you to the wonderful culture of Australian comedy. Um, Ben Jenkins writes short stories that I occasionally edit for him, um, because I love to look at things and point out where they are wrong. So hello, it's me. I'm here to test solve your puzzles. I should have written a podcast puzzle. Well, no, Jan had already written. Well, she hadn't already written the podcast puzzle, but she wrote the podcast puzzle. There were a couple of podcast puzzles actually. Ben and Debbie. I've been subscribed to the podcast that they made last year, and so every so often it's really delightful to just hear Ben and Debbie talking about um, cooking random recipes, but like without giving all of the detail that you may need for how to cook these various recipes. Um, but I'm gonna miss that podcast, Ben and Debbie. So you should consider just continuing to make episodes if you find yourself with free time. Aussie nonsense is exactly what it is. Um, what was I talking about? I've forgotten. Someone asked me another question. We'll just keep on going and pretend. Um, but yes, Tom Cardy does intro. Being thankful. I'm very thankful for like all of the opportunities that I got to work with people. Um, I've made so many friends, and I love having friends. You guys are all amazing. If you keep going, you can use it for the next hunt. Um, I'm thankful that I got to see so many puzzles and I got to solve puzzles with so many different people. I think does New Zealand exist? Or it's I think what is it? It is Southeast Australia, really. So there's North Southeast Australia and South Southeast Australia. It's just an extra island. Kind of weird to think about a podcast puzzle because it seems like the thing where the sub will either get it instantly or never. Um, the podcast puzzle that Jen wrote, very clearly, like solving the puzzle part of it, very clearly pointed people to the podcast. So whether or not they had heard about it before, they should be able to find the podcast. And then I think the same for Ben and Debbie's podcast. The puzzle told you about the podcast. So it did not rely on knowing. Hello, Tin Horn. No, I know who Tin Horn is. I want to say Dave. Um, I've now understood why you said Renee. Yes. um, yes, yes. Dragon Friends is also where we have Dave Yes and Dave No emotes from. So fun story for all the people who are here from Dragon Friends server. I've Dave. There is one Dave in Palindrome, and every so often, whenever he said something, fantastic, or said something that was just like, big no no to like I'm going to stay awake all hunt weekend and not sleep at all. It gave me great joy every time to be able to react with an appropriate Dave yes or Dave no emote. um, what is this is the link to now? Um, oh, is that the rewind and unrewind as you watch? Oh, Debbie, I can say all of the comments again. I really enjoyed hearing your voices pop into my ears every so often, even though I knew what the puzzle was already. I actually also really, really loved that puzzle. I don't know if you know this. I've been a little bit quiet about it to people outside of Palindrome this year. Um, but I guess my favorite puzzles are logic puzzles and knitting puzzles, and so these are the puzzles that I wrote. And there's um, yeah, I really enjoyed the logic and food puzzles that you wrote, both in Magically Delicious and I don't know. I can't remember the name of it right now. All I know is that there's like, who's cooking what with Ben and Debbie. Um, what is the name of that puzzle? Someone tell me. Um, a handful of dishes. That's correct. It used to be this or that. No, it didn't used to be this or that. There was another this or that. Very different. No food. Um, But yes, a handful of dishes and magically delicious. Both logic puzzles about food, which, completely my jam. So I really loved both of them. And yeah, just being able to solve with so many people throughout the year. It's not that often that you get an opportunity to just have dedicated solving for such a long period of time. Normally, what we do is when we solve some sort of online hunt, we will, get a group of people together and then we'll have a look at 200 rows of knitting instructions that makes a nonogram. Oh boy. Um, I mean, I would probably chart that. I remember whipping out the charting software that I had installed on my computer to solve one of the knitting puzzles a couple of years ago. You guys all have knitting charting software on your computers, right? That's a standard puzzle solving piece of software. Like it's it's just as useful as Nutramatic and a Rubik's Cube. Um, yeah, so um, I mean, 200 rows is it's very chartable, I think. Probably. I don't know. I think my web is 20 something rows. The Matrix one, right? Is that the puzzle? I do not know. Are there logic puzzles about jam? Not yet, as far as I know. But is there jam in the biscuits in Magically Delicious? I feel like from the pictures that I remember seeing, that I don't know if you ended up including, there was like the one that looked like a dragon, but um, do you know where your needles are? Excuse me while I click this link so that I have it for later. Hey, new link. Okay, I'll have a look at that later. Um, but yeah, maybe there was jam in like a heart-shaped eye in one of the magically delicious biscuits. Um, is Ben possibly working on recipes for all of those? We do not. There could be jam. You've talked about making real recipes. Right. Um, well, fig jam is the way to go, I think. Because I think we have all established that fig jam is best jam. Um, I love to confuse people. Figs are really good. And then, then you can see uh, how people feel about the things that they eat when you mention wasps and figs. Um, Other things I am thankful for. Um, I'm I'm really thankful to James for convincing me to come over and join Palindrome because initially he was just like, oh, I might just go across. And I think Marie was interested in going across, and then like the rest of us Sydney peoples who were solving with Ange were just like, I don't know, see how we go. Maybe, maybe not. And then yeah, and then I jumped across, and then I met new people, and I've made new friends, and um, yeah, I'm also really thanks Ben and James. I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to write uh, for the story because that was just so incredibly fun. Um, and the constraints for writing were very different to the constraints for making a puzzle, right? Because people need to be satisfied with a puzzle. People need to be able to solve it. It needs to be fair. It needs to be sufficiently clued. It needs to be appropriate for the round. You need to have a specific answer. But for the writing, we just had so much more freedom. So it was a lot easier to just be like, hey, here are 5 people. You need to and then we were like, can we have 6? We would love to have 6. I think we had 6 because someone made the punny joke about Roach being 2 brothers, Roachenkrantz and Guildenstern. And then also I think there were like, the 2 roaches on the mural. Um, but we wrote for 2, and then we were initially told, well, maybe it should just be 1. And then we considered it having just 1. And then yeah, the mural does have 2 ministers for what became Roach. We looked at it and then we, I think, reminded ourselves of the mural again, and then we went back to 2. And I'm thankful for all of the ministers who worked with us and performed these crazy scripts. There are some of you in this chat who definitely have no idea what we're talking about, but we wrote a quiz. Justin and Ben and I can't stop doing things. So, so we wrote a quiz for what minister of the Ministry of Intertextual Transportation are you? Um, and so everyone can now do a quiz and find out where they are. Thank you, Debbie, for joining. Also, I'm very thankful for Debbie before you leave. Um, for doing all of the accessibility stuff. Debbie was incredible. She did so much consulting on what sorts of like what we needed to do for the alt text and how to make sites navigatable and how to make sure that the colors were visible and what we would need to do to have good and I was also there. Yeah, what we needed to do for captions to make sure that they were easy for people to read. So I'm so sorry, Debbie, that I keep on talking about all of the things relevant to you when you're not here. But much love for Debbie as well. Also, Justin made amazing art, like super duper incredible art. Um, and Yes, that is the link for the BuzzFeed Minister quiz. Um, yeah, yeah. Justin made amazing art. I'm very sorry for showing you the GIF. But it was also very funny to us when we were very tired on, I don't know, Sunday night. Um, maybe you're very early Monday morning. Oh, you forgot to tell me. What did you do? What did you do? You were Barker. Um, yeah, Barker. Barker is me. I am Barker because oh, we were talking about Barker, and yeah. So now I guess you have a better understanding of who Barker is. You like to solve all of the problems. This is why I wanted to test solve everything. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about anymore. I think I've run out of stuff. You need to ask me questions, or I will go and have lunch and buy groceries or something. I don't know. How are you all feeling? Ask me other questions. I'm 2 hours in. I mean, you guys went for 3 hours, so it's fine, right? I'm just gonna say that maybe I talked faster and wasn't as busy clicking around and showing you things. So this is why I got all of my talking done. Justin, by the way, you talked in the wrap-up video for 10 minutes. I don't know how much time you were told to take, but Jen and Mark before you only took 3 minutes each, and I think the people after you took like 3 and 5 minutes. But yes, you talked for 10 minutes. What is the story of the elephant behind you? He looks amazing. Oh, okay. Um, these okay. I'm gonna take them in time. The story of the elephant behind me is it's not a very long story, but I'll see what I can do. But basically, this is this is the elephant. Um, and the story, Wayne took 30 seconds. This, the story of the elephant is that one day I was at my friend's place and we needed to get food for lunch. And so I went to the shops with them and we went to Aldi. And you know how Aldi just has random stuff? Aldi had this elephant, and so and so we went to the shops um, to get groceries for lunch, and I came back with an elephant. This is the story of the elephant. So now I have this elephant. Um, yeah, this is. I hope you liked that story. Oh, but this is a better story, slightly. This is a bunny, and I think it's adorable. Um, and it's squished. Um, Camera angles are weird because this is not flipped, and I don't know which way to point the camera. Yes, this is a bunny, and I hope that you all appreciate this bunny. I have stuffed toys. I also have a blahaj, but it is in the other room. Um, let me scroll. Can I scroll? Oh no, I can't scroll. 2 hours in. What is the story of the elephant? Nobody told me I couldn't. What is the part of the puzzle writing process that most surprised you? Huh. I mean, I'm not easily surprised. No, that's not true. I don't know. I guess the part of the puzzle writing process that most surprised me is how much like back and forth there is and how much a puzzle can change from its final iteration. And also, it honestly surprised me how many amazing ideas eventually couldn't make it in because they were too hard. Um, we love the bunny. Do they have names? Um, I'm not unflappable. I think it is Riley Roach who is unflappable. So that's James. James is unflappable. That was his steady hand filming while I said nonsense. Um, oh, I do have one other thing that I'm going to show you, but not yet. Um, I was going to say a thing. Amazing puzzles that didn't make it through. So, um, Kevin, who wrote the most puzzles, he wrote Midterm of Unspeakable Chaos. But he whipped out Midterm of Unspeakable Chaos because he previously wrote a different puzzle, Mother Goose, um, that was on the same theme as Midterm of Unspeakable Chaos. And I tested that one. This is how you collect test solves, you guys. You just solve puzzles that are not even part of the final mystery hunt, and that's how you collect the numbers. Um, but yeah, I solved Mother Goose, and when I say I solved Mother Goose, I spent time working on Mother Goose with people, and then I don't think we finished solving it. Um, it was it was solvable. I think we had to stop. I think it was a time thing, because different people had different things 3 hours after the scheduled start time of the test solve, and so yeah, I do think that Kevin is planning to publish that. So I'm excited for the world to see it. But yeah, it really surprised me that that such an amazing puzzle just got scrapped and completely rewritten as a different thing. And there were a few other puzzles like that as well. I test solved the puzzle that was written before Dancing Triangles for the same answer. Um, and there was a whole bunch of different test solving with that. Oh, I've got things all over the place. That's what happens when you ask me about things. Um, look, it's backwards. Um, I test solved the puzzle before Dancing Triangles, the one with the same answer, and that was a bit more of a musical puzzle, and I really enjoyed that. And it was also really unfortunate to see that that puzzle didn't make it through either. And to be fair, Dancing Triangles is fantastic, so I'm really glad that Dancing Triangles happened. Um, but yay, more Barkers. Um, but yeah, I guess I didn't realize how tricky it is to make the perfect puzzle because I hadn't written any puzzles before. Also, the other thing on the complete other end of the spectrum that really surprised me is just how prolific people are at making puzzles, right? Like um I felt like I was fairly involved with Palindrome throughout the year, and also I wrote one puzzle and like a half a puzzle and like a eighth of a puzzle, right? So I wrote nearly two puzzles. But I don't know. I think Kevin wrote 40 puzzles, which is insane because that's like more than three puzzles a month. But also, he's writing faster than three puzzles a month because I don't think that he started writing puzzles right at the end of January. There was so much to do before the real puzzle writing could start, like making sure that the story had been finalized and getting the meta structure in place. And then also, most of the puzzle writing had finished back in November or December. So it's like he was writing 4 or 5 puzzles a month, which is incredible. So yeah, that was another thing that I think was just completely blew my mind. Kevin is amazing. Kevin is, I think, maybe the other name that I recognized because another friend had mentioned it to me earlier. There are a lot of amazing people on Palindrome who it was only when I joined Palindrome that I realized that these were big names. And up until then, it was like, oh, cool, I've heard Jen on a podcast before. Um, but yeah, these daily cryptic writing challenges. So there's a channel in the Palindrome Discord where Justin used to post the Merriam-Webster word of the day, and now he doesn't even have to because these cryptic clue writers are so prolific and so proactive. They write a cryptic clue every day for the word of the day, and I think every week Justin would also throw in like an extra spicy challenge um, for like a weird rule set that like maybe every word had to uh, start with the same letter in your clue, or your clue must be a pangram, or I don't know, random other nonsense challenges. And they did like every day, every single day. Um, Kevin ended up with 23 puzzles in the hunt. So more than 10% of the hunt is just Kevin puzzles. And there's such variety. And oh boy, the way that Kevin looks at a potential answer and goes, ah, yes, this is an answer that has these traits. Therefore, I will write a whole puzzle that capitalizes on these traits that this answer string has. And just, he just, I assume, works backwards from there is amazing because, like, the puzzles that I wrote were very much just like, here's an answer, here is a thing that I want to do. Now I need to go and find stuff to make the thing that I want to do extract correctly to the answer. So like with Charlotte's Web, for instance, it's Braille. I'm putting dots on, right? Like I can put dots anywhere. I just need to put them in the right spot. It will work for any answer. But Kevin's puzzles are always so thematic to the answer that it's amazing. And yeah, it's if you give Kevin enough of a heads up about a party and what the party is for, he will write a cryptic about the theme of the party. Yeah, Kevin is incredible. Um, yeah. The other thing that I've slowly been learning about the cryptic clue challenge chat is that um, uh, I'm very bad at cryptic clues, but it's really helpful. Now that Justin doesn't post the word of the day anymore, I don't impulsively click on the spoiler to see what the word of the day is, and then I see all of the clues pop up um, for the same thing, and that is how I solve the clues. I look at like I don't know the 4 or 5 clues that are there, and then I see the definitions. I solve from definitions and Wheel of Fortune. Um, so it was supposed to end the day before Hunt, but they can't be tamed. Day before 2023 Hunt, I guess, because then when Hunt kicks in, there's puzzles to solve. I think that's how it works, Justin. Um, but yeah, I just look through at all of the like definitions that like pop out as all of these clues have the definitions, and then I'm like, oh, I know what this word is, and then I try and pass it, and sometimes I succeed, and sometimes I don't. So also, I'm going to take a bit of a break, but before I do that, I'm going to leave you with a fun little thing for book reports because when we were test solving book reports, there were cryptic Dixit. Um, when we were test solving book reports, what Jen and Ashley and Ben and who else was on book reports? Sure, there was someone else on book reports. I was in the chat. I should know this. Um, but they came up with a list of tasks and they asked us, Will, yes. They asked us to see, like to try out the challenges and rate them on how fun they were, do them, see how difficult it was and all that. Something that I will share with you now is a video that I made for one of the book report challenges. Does anyone have the, whoops, that's not what we want. Does anyone have the wording of the original book report? Is that something that people have? It was something about teaching people. Hang on, let me do random technology things. This is what I want. Where is the chat? I cannot see. Why is the chat gone? Oh, there we go. Aggregate Palindrome's book report testing submissions. Yeah. So so I think the challenge was something along the lines of like making an instructional video for something for like an everyday task or an everyday skill. Basically teaching people an important it was something like an important life school. Life school. An important life skill. So I'm going to leave this with you for now. And then I will be back. Here you go. Maybe I'll just loop it. Hi everyone! Today I will be teaching you how to blink. This is a blink. Blinking is very important for making sure that your eyes do not dry out throughout the day. Let's demonstrate that one more time. And now I will talk you through the process. First, you close your eyes at the same time. Next, you open both eyes at the same time. And that's a blink. Let's do that again. Close your eyes together and open your eyes together. That was a blink. Now let's do that one more time, but pretty quickly. Close your eyes and open your eyes. And now you know how to blink. If this was helpful for you, please like and subscribe and join me next week as I teach you how to make a clay teapot. Bye! everyone! Today I will be teaching you how to blink. This is a blink. Blinking is very important for making sure that your eyes do not dry out throughout the day. Let's demonstrate that one more time. And now I will talk you through the process. First, you close your eyes at the same time. Next, you open both eyes at the same time. And that's a blink. Let's do that again. Close your eyes together and open your eyes together. That was a blink. Now let's do that one more time, but pretty quickly. Close your eyes and open your eyes. And now you know how to blink. If this was helpful for you, please like and subscribe and join me next week as I teach you how to make a clay teapot. Bye! Hello. Yeah, so yeah, things that they didn't teach you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was instructional for you. I well, create a course listing for something they don't teach at Harvard Business School, create a video of you teaching an important day-to-day skill, then upload it to YouTube for others to view. Yeah, so that is a thing that I did for for the book report. And then I think they made that task harder. I think that's what happened out of that um, submission that they got. So I was happy to be able to test that. Um, yeah. Was I going to talk about another thing? I can't remember anymore, you guys. I have no idea. I guess people don't have any questions, which is fine. We can just hang out. I've turned the aircon on now, so I can sit here all day and spin. Um, but yeah, if people don't have any questions anymore, maybe I will just leave you to the rest of your Friday evening or Saturday morning. Tell us about your favorite memories. Huh. I have so many favorite memories, and also it's hard to pick just one memory as a favorite memory. Um, I mean, some of my favorite memories have just been watching you guys talk about your hunt experiences afterwards um, because everything has just like you put so much of yourself into your art, Justin. That's been amazing. Um, I do not know what my favorite memories are. Um, one definite favorite memory is making Jen swear at us when she test solved Cheers because she'd already put out so many nonsense puzzles that it was just really, really nice to be able to, um, you know, inflict the same or different, but like, a similar level of like confusion and upset. And, um, this is what I want out of every test solve. I want to hear people discover a ridiculous thing and realize that something that seems easy is a bit challenging. That's, I think, one of my favorite things. Um, Also, I think I already wrote this up, but I just really enjoyed like working through like some of the logic puzzles, like I think the downtown murders. Eventually, there were just a couple of us um, looking at it because it took us so long to figure out the gimmick. And once we finally figured out what it was also just a really hard puzzle to solve. So I think a lot of my favorite memories are like test solving memories. Um, but also one of my favorite memories, Justin, is when you were saying that Noah was commenting about the art, and then um, we we commented about the art, and I think James said something about chopped liver, which amused me greatly. Um, yeah, there were a lot of very funny things. Oh, sorry, all of my stuff is just in the wrong spot. Moments of weakness. What do you mean moments of weakness? I don't think you had any weak moments at all, Justin. Every single thing you did was your strength. People, well, so Justin, James and I used to be people outside of Palindrome. So like, I mean, I'm, um, phew, I can do maths in my head. So like, more than 95% of my life, I have been outside of Palindrome, right? So like, I know it definitely feels like I am not a person outside of Palindrome, but if you look at the bigger picture, right, I'm 95% a non-palindrome person. Um, and which is like a really high score, by the way. Um, so therefore, I feel like I should count as a yeah. As time passes, that number will probably change, but for now, it feels like I should count as a person who can, give compliments as someone outside of palindrome. For anyone in this chat, by the way, who is still here, who has not seen any of the art because I just invited you to come into my random stream from somewhere else, go to bookspace.world, and there's definitely art by other people as well, but 50% or more of the art, at least. Thank you for the link. A lot of that art is Justin's art. Um, Also, very fun memories are just in HQ on the night when James and I were hanging out with John and Ivy. You're embarrassed. It's okay. Your stream is over. You can be read, and you don't have to let it die down like Ben does before tomorrow. You can be embarrassed all you want. You're like, I should count my puzzle hunting life, not my whole life, while doing the calculations. So, see, there's, I guess there's like puzzle hunting in groups life. Um, but okay, so if we go back to I started doing puzzle hunts back in 2017. um, Mike, yes, I know. It's such a cool site, right? You should check it out. There's a lot of great stuff. Um, there is, Mike. I reckon you'd really like. Justin did these animations. They're really cool animations in bookspace.world/archive. Um, also, I think he did really incredible stuff. Which one is my favorite? I don't even know which one is my favorite. I mean, Mike, the background of this stream right now, like this, the purple around the box that I'm in on screen, he did that art. You're getting stuck behind a capture. Have you tried just changing the link, right? You don't want to go to bookspace.world/puzzle/please prove you're human. You just want any other link on that site, right? Um, so that you, Mike, as a non-human, can access the other things. Because if you have to prove you're a human, then I guess, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see everything else. Um, Also, ooh, I reckon you'd be able to do tech support though, Mike. That one, as a robot, I think you'll do great at. Yes, Penn Station is very cool. Penn Station was done by, I want to say Scott A. Ford, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Um, Justin did so many shout outs for other people. And now, Justin did Recipioria. Sam Posnick. Right. Um, I have credits in my head. Bye, Shy. Thanks for hanging out. I really love Recipioria. It is not actually like my typical color palette, but some people got mad at you for shouting them out. Why? Did they not want their work to be known? Cause like, okay, um, but yeah, I loved all of the different little food details. Also, the oh, it's true. I do love New Year City. New Year City's got great detail. Um, and yeah. I got distracted. We were talking about my puzzle hunting life, right? So even if we go from 2017-ish, so that's like if we count it as 5 years, I mean, we're only in the start of 2022, so that's 5 years. If it's either 4 or 5 years, then like 75 to 80% of my puzzle hunting life, I have not been a palindromer, right? Like 75% is a distinction, you guys. So, um, yeah, I think the big picture is I still count as a non-palindromer enough to be able to heap praise upon Justin in a meaningful way. Um, and yeah, the ministry is my favorite. These are the colors. Do you not see? Maybe it's spinning too fast. I don't know. But like all of these colors here, um, look, this used to be empty. These are ministry colors and they're beautiful. Look at these purples. Wow, they look really washed out on screen. Sorry about that. But they look better in real life. And I get to have them in real life, so it's okay. In real life is the most important way that these colors work. Um, we do stand purple. Behind my laptop is a massive purple cushion. Um, it's probably 150 centimeters wide, long, long. It's like the longest length of it is. No, it's just one color. Oh no, not you're not talking about the purple cushion. You're talking about the spinning, aren't you? Um, here is the this is the matching color, so like it looks the same as this. So it is like some blues and like pinky purples to go with the rest of everything here. Um, yeah. Anyway, um, by Sony's mathematics, I am still 75 to 80% non-palindrome. Um, and and I think I started looking at like not pron things back in probably high school. So a lot of my life I have been doing puzzles and not with palindrome. So it counts, you guys. It counts. But also everyone else on here who has never been with palindrome, if you just tweet at Justin, so it's just Jr. Ladia, Ladia. Just tweet at Justin and let him know which part of his art is your favorite. That would be really good. What is MOTAS? I don't think I know what MOTAS is, but yeah, Notpron was definitely a gateway. Um, but yeah, everyone. Oh, Mystery of Time and Space. Yeah, I don't know what that is, I think. Also, Justin has an Instagram. I think it is also Jr. Ladia. Um, so that's Juliet Romeo Lima Alpha Delta India Alpha, right? Just go find Justin, and check out all of his fantastic art. Let him know which one you like the best. Um, I've really enjoyed interacting with Justin and becoming friends with him throughout the year. He is also great to work with. Every so often we would have to do like art for a thing, and I would be like, "Hey Justin, here are the things. Can you please do this art for this thing?" And he would be like, "Oh yeah, it's here. It's in this folder. It's all good." And then I'd be like, "Hey Justin, here is a thing that needs to change. We're really sorry that we have to change it. Can you please change it?" And like, I don't know, 5 minutes later he'd be like, "Oh yep, it's all good. It's updated now. Here you go." Justin is incredible. And everyone should go and love everything that he's done. How is your blushing going, Justin? Are you feeling warm? I hear it's like winter or something, um, in the northern hemisphere. So I just feel like this way, your face can be warm, um, which is a nice way to be on a cold day or on a cold night. It is single digits out. Uh, you've got like Fahrenheit. I don't even know what single digits Fahrenheit is. That's negative, right? I don't. You guys, what is? Why do you hate the metric system? -12 here. Yeah, yeah. So this is just my way of like keeping you warm from the other side of the world. You're welcome. There's a blizzard. Yeah. What do you mean only -12? Right? Like I I don't know that Sydney has ever been in negative temperatures ever, right? Like occasionally we'll get a hailstorm and if there's enough hail, it looks kind of like it snowed, and that's a little bit exciting, but also gross, right? Like hail is nothing on snow. But yeah, negative degrees are wild. When I went off so that you could all learn about blinking, I turned the aircon on because it was too warm here. Um, but yeah, think I think I have answered all of the questions that people have. Um, and yeah, so I think I'll 2.5 hours seems like a reasonable time to stop. Because I just don't have as much to talk about. Um, I I wrote less puzzles. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. It was great chatting to all of you. While you kept me company while I spun some yarn. Um, Feels like a productive time for everyone, probably. Thank you. Bye.